Thank you for listening to SPN, the Savage Podcasting Network.
Since its opening in 2015, Faro Restaurant has been one of Idyllwild's leading restaurants, applauded for both its gracious service and casual take on fine dining. Nestled in the heart of the beautiful alpine village of Idyllwild, California, Faro is more than just great food and elegant surroundings. It's a treasure destination not to be missed. Faro Restaurant, an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. It's Italian, elevated.
Have you heard about the Art Alliance of Idyllwild? Our mission is to create community through art. This year's calendar of events to support that mission is May 30th, Summer Kickoff, July 18th, Home Studios Tour, August 8th, Plein Air Festival, September 5th, Here and Now, October 10th, Art Walk and Wine Tasting, December 4th, Art Cake Giveaway, December 5th, Winter Solstice Show. Visit artinidyllwild.org and follow us on Instagram at Art Alliance of Idyllwild for details.
The Riverside County Film Commission and the Riverside County Economic Development Agency are proud to sponsor the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. With a region of over 7,300 square miles, the Riverside County Film Commission works closely with all 28 cities located within its borders, as well as state and federal agencies, to help streamline your production and ensure its success, assisting with everything from permitting in all jurisdictions to finding just the right locations for your shoot and many other production necessities. Riverside County, the perfect fit for your next film production.
You're listening to The Stephen Savage Show on the Savage Podcasting Network. And now, here's your host, film and television director, Stephen Savage.
Thank you, Nicole. How's it going, everyone? Savage here with you for yet another episode of the Stephen Savage Show, the official podcast of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. Coming to you, as always, from Cranium Wheel Studios at Chateau Esteban in the beautiful alpine village of Idyllwild, California. Just a couple hours east of Los Angeles, but a world away at nearly 6,000 feet, high atop majestic Mount San Jacinto and overlooking the great Coachella Valley. And just a reminder, this podcast, as with the Idyllwild Cinema Festival itself, is completely non-corporate, and all of our advertisers are specific to Idyllwild, California. Not that we aren't interested in a buck as much as the next guy. I'm pretty much a capitalist guy, but this just keeps things honest and censorship-free and in my control, which is what it's all about. And one of those Idyllwild specific partners is our official lodging sponsor, Talk Eats Pines Retreat, Idyllwild's premier venue for weddings, family reunions, romantic getaways, or just about any large or small gathering or event. So if you're coming to Idyllwild for the film festival or at any time during the year, you owe it to yourself to check out the many charming cabins and cottages that make up this amazing mountain venue. Check them out today and book your Idyllwild lodging at talkeatspines.com. That's TAHQUITZ, talkeatspines.com. All right, my two in-studio guests today are both drop-dead gorgeous, super intelligent, entrepreneurial, and philanthropic women of substance. They both spend a lot of time in the Coachella Valley area and are deeply tied to Idyllwild in various ways. One of them as my film and commercial producing partner, and my right hand joined at the hip film festival consultant, and she's also an actress in her own right. And the other young woman is a realtor of some renown, offering up some of the most amazing higher-end properties in both the desert and here on the mountain in and around Idyllwild. Both are driven by their business savvy, but also their faith and spirituality, which I find very intriguing, and I'm proud to call them both my friends. And I've done this sort of podcast in the past, brought on exceptional women in business and the arts from the Palm Springs, Palm Desert area. It's sort of my Joni Mitchell Ladies of the Canyon sort of thing, but instead of Laurel Canyon, it's here in Idyllwild, and I thought it was a time for another one of these episodes. So Please allow me to welcome into Cranium Wheel Studios Ms. Nicole Hughes Bradshaw and Ms. Jolie Leydekkers. Ladies, welcome to Chateau Esteban and the studio.
Well, hello.
Hi.
Thank
Nice
you
to
for
have-
having us.
It's great to have you. It's about time. I've been planning on doing this for a while, but Jolie came on a little later, and I got her on the phone and begged her to come on the show, and she said, "Sure, I'll throw you a bone. Why not?" Nicole, you've been here many times, and in fact, that's Nicole's voice you hear introduce me at the beginning of the podcast. But Jolie, this is your first visit to the chateau, so welcome.
Thank you.
I always like to kick off my interviews by allowing my listeners a chance to get to know my guests through their own words, their journeys as substantial people, where they grew up, education, and just when they decided to lock into their chosen field. So let's kick off with Nicole, because I know her the best. I know your story somewhat, of course, just from our many long talks and our filmmaking partnership. And we're working on a motion picture right now, in fact. And we just finished a big commercial ad campaign with Qantas Airlines. That was fun. But let's allow my listeners a chance to know about your upbringing and all the other stuff you do. If I remember right, you're from the deserts of Southern California, right?
I am. I'm born and bred in the Coachella Valley. I will say this is the first time ever in my life, and you caught me off guard, that I have said my story from beginning to end. I pride myself in being a woman of mystery. So now I'm going to choose wisely, yet honestly.
Okay. Well, you say what you want to say.
Yeah. I was born at Desert Hospital, so in Palm Springs. In fact, the same person that delivered me, that's on my birth certificate, many, many years later, at the age of 30, I got my helicopter license.
Right.
And he had a sign off on my medical record. And he goes, "Oh, look, I delivered you." And it was like the weirdest
That's
small
awesome.
town moment. But yeah, so I was born and raised there, went through high school in a small private school in Cathedral City. I have probably 23 cousins and second cousins that live out there, mostly in the Palm Desert, La Quinta area, but further out to Palm Springs. So very small town, very small feel. And we were just talking about this earlier, is I do miss it because it's grown significantly. And so since then, a lot of people feel like you can't actually get a large career when you live out there, that you have to go to LA or to all the other things. However, I have found that I actually get to stand out more. So I chose my career in finance, worked my way up from a teller to a bank manager, area president, different types of banks out in the area. Got recruited to New York City, learned I am not a New York City girl after 3 months. Thrived, but my children did not like it. So we came back. There was a lot of, let's just say, friends and people who help with moving you forward in any direction in the Coachella Valley. So there's a lot of camaraderie and professionalism, and a lot of people who come from the outside to move there for the slower pace, but bring their speed.
Right.
So went into finance and then went into software development. And during COVID, I had a whole rechange of life and decided, you know what? I know my direction eventually. Don't get me wrong. I've dabbled in filmmaking. I've dabbled in acting. But I was raising 2 kids, and that was probably my main priority, is being at their football game and track. And so when my son graduated in October 2024, I went, oh my gosh, I get to quit and go be a struggling actress. But I was so blessed to marry an amazing man who said, no, I'll help support your career. You go, don't be struggling. Take the jobs you can, go figure out your career, and I'll support us. So my kids have moved out, and I am now working in production. I found my niche because, again, project management, things like that is kind of my passion, and then moved on from there.
And
So-
everybody on our upcoming movie, Monkey Grip, everybody on the production crew loves Nicole to death. She just seems to get things done. And I've been really... Well, we'll talk about that in a bit, how you came into my world and onto this film and commercial gigs. And
Yeah.
Nicole was instrumental in protecting me from all of the ad reps and everything from Qantas, all these Australians who wanted...
Are you allowed to say from who?
It was pretty crazy, but we got through that commercial project, and it turned out great. And Jolie, I don't know you near as well as I do Nicole, of course, but I think we're building a pretty cool friendship, and no doubt we'll continue to do so as the months and years roll by. But enlighten us regarding your own life journey, if you don't mind, and especially what brought your relationship about with Idyllwild from the desert. You're also a desert rat.
I am.
Whoa, we prefer desert bunny.
Yes, we do.
Well, you're a native desert bunny.
Or a desert princess is fine too.
Yes.
Either way.
I have a very similar. I basically grew up. I like to say I know every grain of sand in the desert. My twin sister and I were raised by my mom after our father passed away at 12. Mm-hmm. We were 12 years old. So my mom was working 5 jobs a day, so we didn't see her very much. And I loved, even though she had it hard, I loved the simple life that we had here in the desert. And playing tennis in the middle of the street. There was like no people. It was just so precious. And then basically I got married and had a child, and I got a divorce, and I was like, what can I do that I could have my own hours, basically? Because being a mom was my dream. Everyone in high school was like, I'm going to be a vet. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm like, I want to be a mom so bad. And so she gave me that dream, and her father and I are great friends. There was no, theatrics there. So I raised her in this precious desert, and I got my license. I've always liked doing real estate like projects. My husband at the time, we like to say Thea, my daughter, was born into the business because she's an interior designer now. Mm-hmm. We were just flipping houses for fun in our early 20s, and he could do anything. And then I was like, I'm just going to get the license, And so I was able to just get her to pre-K and then work nonstop while she was gone, pick her up, pause working, be a mom, be present, do the dinners, the bath times, the homework, and then put her to bed, get back to work. So I just did real estate when it was on my terms, when I wasn't, with my daughter. So I've been doing it for 21 years, and I absolutely love it. I love having grown up in a small town, and that's what drew me to Idyllwild. I'd come up here as a kid sometimes with like a high school boyfriend or whatever. And so now I was like, where could I get a place that's relatively close to escape those harsh summers? And it's like 55 minutes from my office on El Paseo to here. It's no big whip. And the
drive's nice.
The drive is therapeutic,
nice.
And it's 20 degrees cooler. I don't know. It's great. And so because Balboa Island's a little out of the price point, I decided on a second home in Idyllwild.
Good reason.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get my business here as well, which I'm doing pretty well. And I've had several listings, and I'm starting to get my little name out. They're a bit territorial here.
In Idyllwild, you mean? Because you're already pretty established in the desert.
I'm pretty established there. Yeah. I was in real estate before there was even a Facebook. I was like MySpacing. I'm getting licensed.
You look 25, so I'm going, what are you talking about? But yeah, that's funny. I want to move into entertainment a little bit right now, and I'm going to stick with Jolie for a moment, because you and I we discussed some of the offers and projects that you have in development, as well as offers for development you've received revolving around the real estate ventures and things. So fill us in on that, and if you would, and what's it like venturing off into that world of reality TV via real estate?
So I just keep my head down and work. I love real estate, and I do flips with my daughter, and she and I formed a company. We're called Wild Palm, and Hollywood just keeps coming to me, it seems like. I don't know if they're real or maybe they're semi-real, but they keep coming to me and saying, we want to do a sizzle with you. Most of it is a mother-daughter flip type show. And then we sit down and we do the sizzle, and then they follow us around, and it takes forever, and you're getting your makeup done, and then it just goes into the ether, and you never hear anything else.
Right.
And so then we've been under contract before, and then things will happen where like the person has us under contract, will have some kind of big thing happen, or like there was a death in the family. And so we just kind of, nothing materializes, but they keep coming, and then I also have a Desert Dolls group, which is a group of just like really dynamic women, all different ages and ethnicities. And we're all realtors, different, like, novice to like veterans. And a couple people have been interested in that. And then we'll shoot something and then poof, there was like Netflix layoffs one time, and there's just something. So
Right.
I have a theory. Now, mind you, this is the first time I've heard about this.
Okay.
And the first time we've met in person.
Yes.
Maybe you're just not as dramatic as they want.
I happen to be the dramatic one, and that's why they're always like, maybe we can find some other girls,
But I mean it in like the most respectful way of, they're looking for some
Yeah,
real dirt and some
Yeah.
real cheese, right? And so like, you're very well put together and professional, and you and your daughter probably aren't fighting as much as they want. And
One producer was going there, I will tell you, because he was like interviewing us privately. He's like, what did you think about what that one was wearing today? And I'm like, wait, hold on, I see where this is going.
yeah.
Right.
And I was worried because the way they edit you, you're at the mercy of how they edit you. And I'm like, I really do have a career. I don't want to get it.
Yeah, I have two director friends. In fact, Savage and me, they're mutual friends, and they work on reality TV, and we do talk a lot about how do they direct it, and a lot of them talk about how they look for the most vulnerable individual, and they look for the most intense story to bring out, and sometimes it's not even the main character, it's the third party, and so it's a very
They don't just look for it, they
yes
push it. So I'll tell you my real quick story in directing reality TV. I did a show for the A&E network called Sons of Hollywood, which was about the sons and daughters of very famous Hollywood people. So I was working with
so
Tori,
exactly what it sounds like.
Tori Spelling and her brother Randy. They're both sweet. Tori's one of the nicest people I ever met in Hollywood. She's always got a bad rap. She's so sweet. She's so unaffected by it all. But her brother, I love him to death, but he just was kind of out of the loop. He didn't really have a grasp in what the real world's like. I asked him one time, Randy, what exactly, have you ever been to a laundromat? That was one question. He looked at me and goes, I think I went with a chick one time. Something like that. I mean, we're talking billionaires, right? But very sweet people. But there was one person on the show, I'm not even going to mention his name. He was the son of a very, very well-known classic rock singer. And he was imploding as the season went on. He was in a 12-step program. He was supposed to be done with all the drugs and drinking, and we were shooting at a Playboy Mansion party. Remember the Playboy Mansion? And I was just watching him implode, and everything he could put up his nose, he was putting up his nose and drinking. And I called the producers and said, I'm done with this. I'm not going to document this guy's downfall again. And they said, no, just get what you can. And I just told the assistant director, I said, it's all yours, man. I'm gone. And I walked away from it, got in my car. And so I know what you're talking about with the reality TV thing, but it can be, as Nicole said, they not only want you to be full of drama, they're pushing it. You know? And my good friend Joanna Krupa, who was on the Real Housewives of Miami, I think. Oh my God, she's got stories, man. And anybody with a brain kind of wants to stay away from it. So
yeah, they interviewed me for The Bachelor one time, and took me to customize, and they were saying, I said, listen, is this scripted, like real? And he said, this is years ago too, not scripted but prompted. Like, we'll put you, like, you, Jolie, go in there and get in a fight with Nicole over a ham sandwich, whatever. So back then, who knows what it ended up being, but yeah, I was no thank you.
Yeah, well, Nicole, you and I met in a very interesting way as an actress and sometime producer, but we met through a mutual acquaintance, I believe, actor Oscar Torre, who he's had a pretty awesome career. He's co-starred in The Hangover.
Yes.
And you're good friends with another star from the Hangover series.
Yes.
You and I have a mutual friend, Sandra Curry. Yeah. And she plays Zach Galifianakis' mom, and she's so funny. She's the best. But But Oscar was in the Hangover series. He was also in that Tyler Perry series, The Haves and Have-Nots. He was a lead in that. So he pretty good career, but
good career and great character.
Yeah.
He's definitely a character.
But how did you first meet Oscar, and that led to you and I working together?
Oh yeah, you don't know that one.
No,
so
I don't.
Secretly, when I was a bank manager, I really wanted to get into acting, and anything I know that I put my blood, sweat, and tears into, I could be pretty good at it. But I have to learn it first. So I'm not naive. I did want coaching, but I wanted private, and I needed it at night because I worked during the day, and so it had to be specific nights. And I drove 3 days a week. On the 3 days I didn't have my kids, or my mom would watch them, whatever, up to LA, and he was just somebody that was recommended. I do have a lot of, being born and raised in the desert, you run into a lot of celebrities in a way that is more personal. So you could have a coffee with someone who's a named actor and just get into a real conversation. And so these are people who through the years I've met and I reach out to and I say, hey, who do you think would be a great coach? And I got his name. And it was very neat. So I'd show up with him, sometimes at a Starbucks, sometimes in his studio at his house. And he would just give me private coaching, which turned out to be actually very therapeutic in a way that I didn't even expect. So it was just a very get in touch with your emotion conversation. And I had just gone through a life change of losing my father and my brother like 3 years prior. So it was like, wow, this brought out a lot of emotions I had no idea I existed. Because as a powerhouse woman, you're kind of like put together and you're the rock for your family. So to turn around and act, you have to pull out some things you're not allowed to show.
Right.
So anyways, so that's how I met him. And then years later, I told him I was going to some acting classes. I was now ready to jump into it full time, but I needed some direction in just connections. And his first thought is, you live right next to Savage. And it was just a very interesting thing. And he says, hey, he's doing this really big action movie. Would you like to get involved? Maybe he'll give you like a one-liner. He's all, send him the picture of you shooting a gun. And it was just like a very, funny thing. But at that point, I'm more business than I am, actress at the moment. So I turned it into a business call. And I know you were very skeptic. That was a very funny.
I just didn't know what you want. So
I know. I understood.
And you know it better. In my world, I have to be careful who I let in.
Yeah.
And especially when young starlets come to you and I see through bullshit like crazy. I go, why are you 24-year-old calling me 56-year-old and wanting to have lunch and get together? But with Nicole, it was very... I don't know. I could tell pretty quickly that you had a goal and you were serious. And I said to her, you can do both. You can produce because when I was working with Mike Moder, who ran Paramount for 7 years and produced, he was the executive producer on all the Beverly Hills Cops and all those franchises. But anyway, Mike and I were working on a film project, which turns out to be this project, Monkey Grip. But this was years ago when we first started developing it. And I talked, Mike's daughter-in-law was Julia Roberts. And so I talking to Julia and saying, I noticed your name popping up on producing credits now, not just acting. And she goes, yeah, I hit a certain age and the roles just dried up. And I'm thinking, wait, I'm Julia Roberts. And she goes, I was a reality kick in the teeth. And she said, I realized in order to get the roles I wanted to keep my career up there, I needed to produce. And that's why she started producing. And I told Nicole that story. And I said, you can do both. And you learn a lot about the business. And Nicole's already learned so much more just working with our producers and our crew. And she's gone through the Directors Guild. I've been eligible for the Directors Guild for years. I finally decided to take the plunge. I'm not an anti-union guy, but it just wasn't something I really needed to do.
Yeah, on your terms.
Yeah. But now it's just the time is right. So I joined. And so this is Monkey Grip is my first DGA signatory project. And Nicole's on board, and she's been nothing but a gift to us. So thanks, kiddo. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I thank you for the opportunity too, because
And you are getting your 3 or 4 lines.
Yes, I am getting my 3 or 4 lines and a fake tattoo.
That's right. So, all good. Now, you guys are both in the trenches in real estate, one way or another, in Riverside County area. Nicole, you and your husband Mark, he's a big builder. He's a big project guy in the Coachella Valley, and you don't. I'm not asking you to drop names, but Mark works with some big heavy hitters, and
he does. I can mention a few things that people might, when they listen, they're like, "Oh, okay." There's one of the largest properties in the desert called Zinyara. Zanzibar is what the original name was. Zinyara, where most of the big celeb parties and birthdays and things like that are held. He is the builder of that property. So in turn, most of the more high-end custom homes that are in Madison Club, he builds.
Wow.
So I'll leave it at that. And then, name dropping comes when you talk to me personally.
But he does do stars. He does. I think he's done
it's
some
almost exclusive, but
music artists as well as actors.
Some artists. And I mean, here's another one. We got married in one of the homes of Coachella Fest founders.
Oh.
So yeah, well, not in his home, but in the backyard. So like just a fun,
right,
fun life so far.
And Jolie, your business is notoriously cutthroat. I mean, but it seems you manage it pretty well. I've been following your Instagram for a few months now and just watching what you do. You seem to stay above all the crap, or as much as you can. Is it easier, do you think, because you're selling stuff in the desert but also in Idyllwild? I've noticed you've been listing a lot in Idyllwild. Is it easier working and selling homes in the mountains, or is the desert, or is it all the same? And I don't know. It seems to me like the mountain sales would be a little more casual, but I don't know.
So I've just been doing it for so long. The desert, I could do it in my sleep, basically.
Right.
And I'm learning. I do like to be challenged. The mountain brings different things, like septic and leach lines, and we do have some of that in the desert, but not a lot. Like property that has land, but it's mostly vertical. Like there's a lot of things that I learned as through the buyer's eye when I was buying my own cabin. So I feel like the expert now, because my cabin, of course, after I closed, needed all kinds of things. But I would say I'm a little more challenged on the ones up on the hill. I am very referral based in the desert, so people just come to me. I'm very blessed. I don't really need to advertise anymore. But here I am doing some legwork. I'm sending the postcards, and I'm doing all the hashtagging and the special videos and everything I can imagine.
Maybe you seem to like the mountains a lot.
I love it. It's like my peace. I exhale here. I made my cabin a Meemaw cabin, and so I have it very.
What's a Meemaw cabin?
I I go to the antique store and I thrift.
I
find little Meemaw things all over. You'll have to come over.
So cute.
It reminds me of my grandma. My mom knits me an Afghan and those things. But yeah, I love it up here, and I just breathe easier here, and it's a nothing drive. Like if I get a request for the desert, bye.
Sure.
It takes you almost the same to go from South Looking to Deep Palm Springs.
Yes.
With the traffic. So it's just a different way. But yeah, I love it. And I'm trying to do these really innovative movie type cinema, little kind of marketing videos that people are they're looking at. I'm getting anywhere from 10 to 20,000 views on these videos now.
I told you this. Your videos are done really well.
Thank
there's
you.
a cinematic eye behind your real estate videos, which I appreciate.
Thank you. I'm trying to tell a story. I believe in storytelling of a home. Homes have energy too. And, they're not all going to be $1 million homes, but you can find something charming in them. And I try to focus on that and being the supporting actress, not the home is the lead, right? I'm not trying to be, here's my fancy car and my red bottom shoes and I'm getting out in slow motion and I got my outfit. That's not my vibe. I'm pretty authentic.
It sounds like you're you know a few people that have done those.
Yeah, it's getting kind of saturated a little. It's getting a little much, but I just keep my forward momentum. I focus on the creating instead of the competition, really.
It's cool, it's hip, and it's where Idyllwild goes for burgers, fries, sub sandwiches, ice cream, and more. Atomic Cow, downtown Idyllwild, California. Official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. Fast, fierce, and filmmaker friendly. Be there or be square. Atomic Cow.
At Pure Bean Coffee, Idyllwild, California's premier boutique coffee house, our passion is roasting the highest quality coffee for the most discerning coffee lovers. Our beans are ethically sourced and hand-selected from the world's finest coffee regions. You will notice the enhanced flavor nuances and low acidity with your very first taste. And as a proud sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, it's our wish to make the best impression possible on filmmakers and attendees from around the globe. So whether it's your first cup in the morning, a midday pick-me-up, or an evening taste of excellence to top off your day, always remember, we at Pure Bean love coffee as much as our customers do.
Every small town has that one special spot, a place where strangers become friends and friends share great times together. Idyllwild, California has just that spot, Terrence Place Pub and Gallery, where live music and good company create amazing memories. We feature fine wines along with international and domestic tap beers. Our vibe is welcoming, fun, and eclectic. Terrence Place Pub and Gallery is proud to be an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema. Come and experience the alpine charm of Terrence Place, located in the Village Lane in downtown Idyllwild, California. We invite you to stop by and have a great time.
Well, that's probably really smart.
Thank you. It's working, so.
That's good. And that's all we can do is find what works for us, you know. Mm-hmm. But I noticed, I watched, when I first met Nicole, I was observing how she navigates the desert. Because people who don't know that desert area, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, it's kind of a different kind of world. It's not LA by a long shot. And yet so many LA people or entertainment people who come out to the desert, they just kind of like, this is my place. Mm-hmm. But that also causes an influx of, they want to bring the city with them. Mm-hmm. And then there are the people who live in the desert forever and they're saying, you know, we'd rather not have that. And it's,
yep, 100%. I feel like, I don't know, Nicole, maybe you think that, I feel like the desert, they like reject the LA vibe.
Yeah.
We like a slow, you know, like a lot of people don't want the Disney project. A lot of the locals want it to be what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know? I have to say, like, I used to sit on a lot of boards for different cities. Being in finance, you really get connected to the community more than you want to. But in several different cities, a lot of the community boards, like even Palm Desert has 0 drive-throughs. Mm-hmm. Like that is mind you, from Monterey and 10, they have a drive-through. That's something that's exclusive to that area. But anywhere south, there is no drive-throughs allowed in Palm Desert. And no one thinks about this, right? And so when a chain comes in, like a Starbucks, mm-hmm. how do they survive without a drive-through? And they stick to that. And I love it because it's just something that keeps it more of the small town feel. Mm-hmm. Things like this, and you would know this, the size of the structures in Palm Springs, right? So they had a law that's no longer existent because we now have the Rowan and different large, buildings that have came in that have changed that. But depending on who we get into the program and politics in the local communities.
I was paying close attention because I love In-N-Out. And when the In-N-Out burger went into Cathedral City with the drive-through, that was a big stink. It was Nicole,
I'm smirking because that was.
It was a big deal. It was like somebody said, we're going to we're going to put a torture chamber in the middle of town.
I was thinking about the one in Rancho Mirage too, next
one.
To the river. Yeah, that there was a huge
uproar.
Yeah, it was a big thing. It's like and you both know about Idyllwild has been. I mean, when they put in the very, very small amount of sidewalk that's in Idyllwild, when that went in, people lost their minds.
Really?
Nobody wanted sidewalks in.
What about all the parking? like in the circle.
Right.
I remember that.
Yeah. Well, it's gone back kind of to what it was when I was a little kid growing up in the 70s and then into the 80s. When Idyllwild was, when I was first aware of Idyllwild, my first movie I ever saw was at the Rustic. My uncle took me to I still remember it, 1975, a Burt Reynolds movie called The Man Who Loved Cat Dancing. And I saw it at the Rustic.
Cat dancing or tap dancing?
Cat dancing.
Okay.
Cat dancing was the name of a woman who'd been captured by Indians, and that was her Indian name. It was a Western.
Okay.
It was a Western. Anyway, but then it just kind of changed. And when I left, moved away, and came back, it was like, what the heck? There was a restaurant right in the middle of the town where the park used to be, and all these sidewalks, and the fort was put up in the 90s, and people lost their mind, and it's starting to revert a little bit. They're never going to get rid of the sidewalks, but there aren't that many. It's just mostly right downtown.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess we'll live in it. But
so the thing you call the fort, right, was a newer look when it got put up, and then now it's kind of come back to the different, like, homey feel.
It's almost
in
like
my head.
I don't remember a time without the fort.
Yeah.
I do, but the fort is just not big, but it's a shopping center that looks like something out of Disneyland Bear Country Jamboree.
The two-story,
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I like it. Everybody's kind of just grown into it, and but they tore down that restaurant, and Dave Butterfield, a friend of mine, he put in the park, which is like the old park, and but everybody's going to complain about everything. He built that park because he wanted to save the trees right in the middle of town, and they all get lit up at Christmas time, and they were about to die, and an arborist came up and said, "They're 2 years max, and you're going to be cutting those down." And he said, "No way," and he bought that restaurant out, and he bought the property from the county or whoever was holding it, and he put in a water filtration system.
Wow.
And now the trees are so green, it looks like Ireland in there. These tall pines and spruce and everything. So there are people who, Shane Stewart's another one, he's a guy that he owns a lot of property in town, but for the better. He makes sure that there aren't a bunch of outside interests who come in and don't care about Idyllwild. He keeps the Idyllwild vibe alive. And so it's coming back now to more like it was when I was a little kid. So anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but I think those guys like that are...
Well, going back to her, like the desert not wanting a lot of the LA vibe and Idyllwild not wanting a lot of the city kind of movement, I think in the Coachella Valley, it's a huge reason why we have so many country clubs. So many country clubs.
Right.
You have people who are like, I'm just going to create a development where I can do what I need and I want, or I can control, or I can't control. Yeah. And there's so many that if you're going through the desert, they all have different bylaws, and they're all. It's just like a very. I was watching, and I don't doom scroll a lot. And this last week, I kind of just avoided social media. And when I went through, I found 3 videos of the same thing. And it was a helicopter landing with the Easter Bunny for Easter at the Hideaway. Right?
I've heard of it.
Now, mind you, I'm all about helicopters, right? Not so much Easter bunnies, but in my head, I was going, that's amazing and fun. And you couldn't do it at a local park, but you can do it at the Hideaway.
Yeah.
And these are the things I think that are just kind of like, there's a lot of benefits to being small town, but there's also a lot of benefits to having control over, like you said at the beginning of the show, right? In the corporate sponsorship kind of concept, there's more control and less censorship.
Yeah. Well, we're all kind of capitalists here because
you didn't have to admit that.
But I'm okay admitting but the fact is that there are certain things that, like Idyllwild's the same way. There are no chains. There's no drive-ins. There's no McDonald's. There's no KFC.
No Del
I
Taco.
do have to say, and I will put it out there, I just wanted a Starbucks.
I got it.
That's all I wanted.
We have Pure Bean here, which is great.
Who is amazing, by the way. I will say, if I have to go second to my favorite, and I totally know the problem with it, but I love Pure Bean.
Thank you, because they are
matcha.
a sponsor of this show and the film festival.
They know I go there twice a day during the film festival, and my matcha's ready.
Yeah, it's a pretty good place. It's not bad at all. But Nicole and I meet at the Starbucks on El Paseo a lot. Oh. That's kind of a place we hang out at. And but yeah, the thing is that to keep the small town vibe, sometimes you have to trade a little bit.
Yeah.
Sidewalks, no big deal. Down in the desert, you trade off a lot more, but I think there are people there that are trying to keep it. It's a different vibe because that area is old Hollywood, old movie star.
Rat Pack.
Yeah, that's what it's like. That Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. are still alive. And
you know what's so funny about that is that I raised my kids with just that genre of music in the car 24/7, right? So they knew Bobby Darin and not Michael Bublé, sorry, Frank Sinatra. And then we were all talking about this the other day because they have no idea the history about. We used to live right down the street from the in Palm Springs. There was a hotel called.
Which one?
I know, the one where they had the Rat Pack where Sinatra performed.
Not the Tropic.
Not the Tropic.
Not the Lucille?
No, I'm sorry, guys.
I'm
It just turned into a really weird rockin' something, and then it came back. Oh my gosh! Wow.
I can't think of the name either.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but I knew the owner for a while. He had called me up and asked me if I wanted to do some sort of movie-related thing down there, and then he died after that. But they actually have, at the bar, they have a plaque on the floor where Frank Sinatra and Burt Lancaster used to meet for a drink.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's so much history there. And, at the same token, people from LA, like, they need a place to exhale too. Like, where I come here to exhale, that's the desert for a lot of LA people. They always say, like, I exhale when I see the windmills, coming on the 10. So everyone needs their place, right?
So Melvin's. I did have to look it up.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
right.
So Melvin's at Ingleside Estate.
Yes,
like that was,
mountain.
and they do. They still have the plaque for
Right.
Sinatra and where he would sit in his regular.
Right, yeah, I like that.
Just the history of it.
I like that Hollywood vibe there.
Did you guys see Marilyn Monroe's houses for sale right now?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's like some of the stuff is still like unique, created by her. The glass bling door handles and the like cabana. I want to get in there so bad.
Yeah.
I think that other than Modernism Week, they should really get local visits to different homes like Sinatra's
100%.
home and things like that.
That modernism thing is huge, isn't it? Yeah.
It is, but it attracts outside.
Yeah.
And that's the part, like me as a local, not as in real estate, not in, because my husband's in building and he loves it. And everybody outside comes in for it. To me, I'm going, well, where is this for the history versus the building itself? I just want to know the people who were in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that Palm Springs itself, and I want people to know that Palm Desert is separate. It's Palm Springs is even more steeped in the history thing, and and let's say this about the gay community: whenever they move into a place like Palm Springs many years ago, they make it that way. They make it so cool. It's like West Hollywood when that became a gay community more than anything else, and they did the same thing with West Hollywood. You can just tell when you cross over, but Palm Desert just has a vibe of its own, I think. And I do feel that women, powerful women who are movers and shakers, they gravitate toward where, like you guys lived, La Quinta and Palm Desert and the El Paseo.
Well, like
area.
she was saying, it's a lot of women who are still raising kids, but yet still want their actual independence to be a professional entrepreneur or a professional in their field, whatever that may be.
Right.
And even if, you're still married or divorced, whatever the situation is, most of them want to still be that home mom, right? So I still made breakfast for my kids or sent it with them, still came home every night for dinner. And yet I ran a bank and nobody had an idea that I was even a mom. And I loved the that kind of separate life. Yet my kids get to walk to Starbucks. Oh, I say it a lot. Sorry. My kids get to walk down the street to a coffee shop, and get a water for free with their bike, and then ride back home. And I have no fear of that in that area, and it's just different.
But it used to be the reputation of Palm Desert was the women there were all overly tanned to where they had turtle skin.
Yeah.
And everybody had fake boobs. Everyone. And
Oh, really?
It's his reputation. Now I can tell you my generation's reputation. We have, in the desert, if you say from the outside looking in, you have old rich men. So what follows that? Younger women, right? So
Sugar
then
babies.
all these sugar babies come running to the desert to get these old rich men, right? But what happens to those old rich men when they divorce their wives? Now their wives need someone too, and they took half their wealth. So then here comes these Marines down from 29 Palms, right? And now you have all these Marines sitting in, what's that bar on El Paseo that everybody goes to? Not
Mastro's.
No, me and you both are like bar hoppers. So
no, we're not. Kitchen
It's in
86.
Indian Wells.
Oh, is it the Nest?
Yes, the Nest.
The Nest
Because the
is
Nest
the
used to be
place.
known for where you can go meet an old man with money.
Uh,
And then it changed that all these old ladies were there.
Yeah.
And then now there's all young men and young women and old men and old ladies. Now, by the way, age is all preference of what.
right. But I've noticed that you guys are in that group of women who are into holistic health, women who take care of their skin, women who aren't standing in the sun all day.
Yeah, you just had to hear probably 30 minutes of that.
hormones.
Of hormone conversations
Right.
and peptide conversations and good health and skincare.
I put my thoughts elsewhere while you guys chattered away. I'm not going to let Nicole get past one thing. She loves Starbucks. I want you to tell my listeners about your Starbucks cup collection from around the world.
I have a problem, and I realized that I accidentally just called it out. I have a real problem. I'm not a collector. My house has nothing put up on the walls, not even pictures of my children, because I'm a simplist or minimalist, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
But
You're
I
too lazy
do
to
have,
hammer a nail. That's
and correct. My husband would do it. And at the end of the day, this actually just happened yesterday. My husband wants to go on a trip. He's trying to tell me where to go. He's sending me pictures. We're going to go Tahiti or Fiji. Now, I don't care about the plane ride. You know what I care about? If there's a Starbucks with a really cool merch. Otherwise, I don't need to go.
She's addicted.
So Tahiti's out of the story right now because they have no Starbucks. But I do have a collection of over 400 cups or merchandise,
my God.
including Monopoly games. I am a bidder on bikes and things like that. And all of it is genuine Starbucks merch from around the world.
Wow.
So Hong Kong, Vietnam. Like there's things that people don't know about Starbucks that I have serious issues about.
Legit.
Like there's a Lotus House inside of Vietnam for Starbucks.
Oh,
There
my
is
word.
in Bali, people go there to enjoy, I don't know what they enjoy, but I enjoy the Starbucks.
Jolie, you still want to be her friend?
See how crazy
Yes.
this is? I can full on go into weirdness mode.
It's not weird, but we had a meeting at Disney Studios where she and I and one of our producers went to talk about not this upcoming movie, but the one after. So we had a production meeting at Disney, and we leave the meeting, and I'm all, when you have meetings at studios, you act like you're
Professional.
Yeah, and she heads straight for the gift shop at Disney.
What he doesn't know is that I'm a collector mode, right? And you can't get these outside of this studio.
No.
And it's a Stanley Starbucks Disney Studio cup. And
She's a
nobody
woman
knows
on a
they
mission.
exist. And so there's a very big, this is,
I just stood there going, like that Paramount.
I think he was embarrassed.
I work at Paramount. I've never been in the gift shop once. And we're not talking Disneyland gift shop. We're talking at the studio. They have a gift shop because people come and do the Disney studio tour, and they go to the gift shop.
And they were for people that don't have meetings there.
Yeah, she was in there for 45 minutes shopping.
Oh my gosh. Her best day ever.
So I kind of pretended I didn't know her and
Yeah.
went out and said, no, I'm kidding. I would never pretend.
It's a real issue. Like one time I was in Barcelona and it was a 24-hour layover, and I begged my husband to postpone a flight so that we can go to the actual Real Madrid Starbucks inside the Real Madrid stadium.
Oh my gosh.
And that was a great experience. And we didn't sleep for 24 hours. We backpacked out, and then got on a flight home.
What a good sport.
Oh, yeah.
Jolie, you collect shrunken heads, did you tell me?
Yeah.
No way. How fun.
No,
I'm joking.
I'm a crystal girly. You sound like me, but I'm a tea girl. I'm not a coffee. So I'm a big tea and the matcha and the loose leaf and all the things.
Oh, so like that little, what is the place
Shala.
up here?
Mm-hmm, Shala.
Shala, yeah.
It's called Shala.
Yeah.
Another
Aria.
one of our sponsors.
I loved it. I love their tea experience.
Yeah,
I
it's
loved
amazing. And you can just ask them. I don't really want a tea, but I don't. Okay, how about a Palmer? Like they'll just do. You can buy their loose leaf. I'm a big fan of Aria and Mark. They're great people, but really good. Also like lemon cookies and brownies, and
They had a good brownie.
a
I did
good
have
brownie.
that,
Yeah.
That shop is really cute. It's funny because that that building that they're in, that little log cabin in the middle of town, I've shot that for 2 separate movies. In fact, my film Cosmic Radio, that was the tribal council hall for this. Yeah,
it's charming.
Yeah, I know, it's cool, and they're the perfect business to go in that little place.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
Welcome to the world of New Spirit Vacation Homes, Idyllwild's premier vacation home rental provider. Whether it be an escape from the heat, a visit to the snow, or for the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, we have the perfect vacation rental for you. New Spirit Vacation Homes is distinctive from any other vacation rental company, not only because our guests have the broadest choice of luxurious homes to choose from, but also because we ensure guests' expectations are met and they have the most enjoyable and fulfilling getaway. New Spirit Vacation Rentals, an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Film Festival. Find us at newspiritvacationhomes.com.
Woodland Park Manor, one of Idyllwild, California's best-known and beloved lodging destinations, is a rustic treat for the casual overnighter or vacation traveller. With its many unique rooms and cottages and that special hideaway feel, Woodland Park Manor gives new meaning to the word relaxation. Nestled among the tall pines and centuries-old oak trees, the manor says Idyllwild the moment you enter the property. As a sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema since year one, all festival attendees are treated like family, because that's what you are to the proprietors. Woodland Park Manor, Idyllwild, California. Book your room now and tell them you're coming for the festival. You will love it.
Idyllwild, California is known for its many quaint shops, but none is more quaint or special than Charla Tea Company in downtown Idyllwild. With a wide variety of regional, international, and exotic blends to choose from, Charla is more than just a tea shop. It's an experience for the soul. As an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, Charla Tea Company offers a discount for all festival badge holders. And what film festival journey would be complete without just the right tea bag in your travel cup? Charla Tea Company, Idyllwild, California. Experience it.
For over 70 years, the historic Rustic Theater and Entertainment Center in Idyllwild, California has been the home for movies and live events for all of the communities that encompass the San Jacinto mountain range. And as the forever home of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, the Rustic has played host to some of the greatest indie films from around the world, as well as blockbuster first-run movies and music and comedy events. And the Idyllwild Festival has been proud to call the Rustic its home base since 2010. So, whether you're in Idyllwild for the film festival, hiking or rock climbing, or just exploring the beautiful mountain village of Idyllwild, California, make sure to add the Rustic Theater to your list of must-visit spots. For a beer or fine wine at the Rustic Tavern, a tasty meal from the snack bar, or just a great movie date or family night out, the Rustic Theater and Entertainment Center is the right choice in Idyllwild. Pop in and say hello.
I mentioned earlier that, and you don't have to get into this deep, some people it's pretty personal, but you're both steeped, I noticed, in your faith. And it's not super heavy, but you guys are into that. It seems like that's something that drives part of your everyday lives and decision making, and
mating.
Yeah. Mating and making.
He said it right.
Yeah. How important is it to you, Jolie? How important is that to you?
Oh, it's my whole life is we're very. I'm not a church girly. I used to go to our local church, Southwest, which is now something else.
Springwell.
Yeah.
Just change the S and the W.
Yeah. And I felt a little uneasy there just because a lot of the tithing thing. And, I would see some really sort of shady characters that I knew that were definitely, Saturday through the rest of the week, Saturday through Sunday, not really living the life, but then forgiven on a Sunday type thing. It was just weird for me. So I just, I'm very spiritual. I am, I pray. God's in my soul, in my home, in my family. And I'm very earthy too. I do grounding. I do sound baths. I do things that really I do. I think Shinrin, I forget what it's called. You tree bathing, basically. You sit against the tree. Shinrin yoku. So I like to incorporate every little. I do a lot of crystal collecting and meditating. So I do a fair mix of everything, I would say. But my whole family is the same. You know, we're not like super strict. I'm actually Greek. My maiden name is Zaphis. Leydekkers is my married name, but I really want to start going to the Greek Orthodox down there and connecting with people. We go to the Greek festival every year. But yeah, I would say I'm religious. Yeah.
I think I mispronounced your name at the beginning. It's
Leydekkers.
Leydekkers.
It's fine.
Right.
Somebody either mispronounces the front or the back. It's either Jolie or
Jolie Leydekkers.
Yeah.
Leydekkers. That's
it's Dutch.
Yeah, right.
I love that you just referred to your first and last name as a front and the back.
That's good.
I'm always a Jolie or a Julie. I always say it's like Angelina Jolie, just a little less exciting. Just the Jolie.
And Nicole, I know, she's taught me a lot about what it means to keep spirituality and religion in your life.
I think you said it right in the beginning, which is like faith, right? And it's funny, I just had this talk with my niece, 13 years old, last night, because she wanted to let me know something like, I'm not religious. And it's like, well, sweetheart, I don't need religion. I just want to know, what your beliefs are. That's all. So I was born and raised in a Christian home, and my mom was super faith-based and Bible thumped. And went to a private Christian school, got really hurt by them. And so turned from a small church girl to I joined Southwest because I wanted to hide. Because I definitely was one of the ones that showed up, did my fun little moment with those people, and then went on about my life. And so that was the same reason I left many years later, because I was tired of hiding. I wanted my relationship back between me and God, and I wanted to continue that in my household, because I realized my kids were getting older and I never instilled what my mom instilled. And I personally found it to be my rock and my stability. And honestly, ever since I turned everything just straight in that direction, it's just been so much peace. I'm not going to say that every day is joyful. I'm not going to say every second's easy. I'm going to say that it's been very peaceful. I've gone through my mom, my stepdad passing, and that was traumatic. But at the end, I still have peace. And it's just because there's a foundation, right? And so I will say I'm technically not a churchy. I do go because I do believe in a congregational way of raising a family, but my husband connects a lot with them. And I think it helps our relationship and our household. He was raised, but then went away for many, many years. And so now he's back, and it's just, his relationships between him and God, my relationships between me and God, and so on. But no one would ever guess it. And I think I'm doing a really bad job at explaining or at least showing to the outside world. However, I will say no one believes I'm an atheist, obviously. But it's just kind of one of those things where I'm very private and very quiet. I do things that, we'll just say outward ministries that I can't even mention, that I love because it just touches people's lives. And I spend a lot of my time doing those. And it does feed me. So I think Savage hears about those ministries and about other people's lives changing just through talking about believing in God. And
but the way you make things interesting, because it's within your circle.
Yeah.
The way you fit that belief system into your everyday life, I find pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think it keeps people, I think people who are really, I don't mean just people who show up to church on Sunday and talk the talk but never walk the walk. I think people, let's just take you to physicality. You're both beautiful, but you have the DNA. But then you keep your bodies in shape, you keep your skin looking great. I think that's a confidence that maybe your faith builds in you guys to go, I owe it to myself and to the world around me to be in the best shape I can be, to look great, to present myself well. Yeah.
What's interesting about that is I was listening to a podcast of all things on the way up here. And he said it correctly. He says, when you know your identity, right? And you're not searching for your identity or trying to figure out who you are, when you know your identity and what your beliefs are, everything else just comes as a natural taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
Because outside of that, you're either gonna overeat or undereat or try and chase the way you look or chase the way you feel or you're chasing after what's a bunch of worldly direction of, oh, my face needs to look plumper or I need bigger lips. But if you're chasing after all that versus I know who I am and I know I can do better for me. And I know I can do better for my kids, or I don't want my joints to hurt. Or
yeah, it's about honoring your body too, as best as you can with like all the free radicals and the stuff that second you step outside, you're exposed to. I do gardening. I just want to honor my body as a temple, and I want to do the best I can. Like my mom always says, genetics loads the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. And so you have to just, some things are beyond our control, but we have to do everything we can that's within our control.
Well, which goes to this direction. I don't know how much this is interesting to other people, but to me, I was the only person I ever knew that didn't drink, never started, and hasn't ever. And now I met her.
Nice to meet you. Never ever drank before. It's not a thing we were talking about when we tell people that. They always say, oh, are you in the program?
Yeah.
No, just never have.
Right. And then they always assume we judge. I don't judge.
Yeah, I don't judge. You can drink. That's fine.
I don't think anyone knows that about me. Like I could go out to a bar or go out to functions, and in the desert, we were talking about BB's parties, right? You can go and last for hours and no one has a clue. You're just holding cranberry and lime.
Yeah, or 7-Up.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, or like, it's funny too. Everyone assumes you do. I have had the perverts from Bighorn be like, come up and I'll discuss the listing. We'll have a glass of wine in the jacuzzi. I'm like, not today, Satan.
Right.
Not today. Right. But it's always like, come on and do glass of wine. It's great. I'm not going to judge you. You do you. But, I'm also going to not let you come into my car if you're drunk because I'm not going to have you throwing up in my nice car either.
Yeah.
But like everyone else, I'm not judgy. Yeah. You can live your life, dude. It's just not for me. I was telling Nicole I'd way rather eat my calories.
Yeah, I'd rather eat sugar. But it's funny because it goes back to something we were just talking about spirituality and faith. Is she just said, like, it helps you also set boundaries.
Totally.
Like there's huge boundaries that need to be set if you're going to run in the direction. And especially, let's just say professional entrepreneur, as a good mother, I have to say this. I wanted to be my whole life a model, right? And I could tell you all kinds of different types, like a fitness model, a athletic model, blah, blah, blah. As I got older, like I turned into, hey, I just want to be the best role model. And like, that's it. And that became something that's like, I want to walk the walk, talk the talk, and show my family, young girls, here's exactly how you don't have to be part of the party. You don't have to be part of, but you could still be around it and not be judgmental.
Oh, for sure. And daughters watch everything. They are literally, if you think that they're reading or they're on their phones, they're still observing everything.
I am so glad I had boys. Oh, who watch nothing.
Well, you're still a role model.
Yes.
Yeah, I've watched her interact with her boys. She's a role model.
Yeah, for who they marry.
Yeah.
So they have good choices.
Yeah.
They make me laugh because they come and they say, Mom, look at her social media. This is what I'm not going to date. It's like, good job. High five.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job.
Be honest here, though. Looks can get you in a door. Very pretty women can get in the door, but if you don't have the brain power to back you up, you're not going to get far. I mean, you guys must have run into it in the past where you've dealt with your looks and everybody sees how you look, and then it's like, okay, that's who that person is, and they put you in a box.
Oh, I get a really hard time with this. Yeah. So. Not that I'm like this, 10 or something.
Oh,
but
shut up.
She's an 11.
No,
an 11.
Oh my God, you guys. Thank you. I've been fired before I can even speak.
Really?
Right. The second the wife sees me, not often, but when I first started real estate, my broker at the time said, this is going to happen to you. And I was like, no way, no. And even if I totally don't even look at him as if the man's not even in the room and I just want to deal with you, Mrs. Nope. I just had one not long ago here in Idyllwild. Girlfriend was not having it. I was trying to talk to the guy. I was like, would you like to sit down? I can show you my little listing presentation. She's
not
like,
like that though, right?
Have a great day. Oh, okay. Thank you. But you're right. So obviously when you're attractive, you'll get instant open doors, right? But then the people are going to need to know that you know a thing or two, that you can actually, but at the same time, you will get fired from real estate from time to time if there's a husband involved.
Right.
Which stinks because, like, I don't even have to deal with him.
Yeah.
I can just deal with you, but it happens on occasion, not often, but.
Well, it's funny because you can, no matter how much we think we're above it, men, myself included, can get those preconceived notions of, oh, we'll go to Nicole. First time I met her, I saw some pictures, but she walked in the room and I went, holy crap, she's gorgeous. I don't know how we're going to work together because she can't be that smart. She can't. And then within 5 minutes, I was going, man, this is one of the most brilliant women I've ever met.
Oh, so sweet.
It's about...
I had my Starbucks.
Yeah, that's right. It's about how you present yourself in the first 5 minutes.
And what's so interesting about that is, like, along those lines, I was a bank manager at 25. And a female and blonde. I pay really good money for this blonde, right? Because naturally brown.
Yeah.
And so for me, I can't tell you, there's probably still, just so that we're all clear, there's definitely a Yelp review about me as a bank manager. And it's a joke because it's like this girl who said she's the manager running around with her heels as if that's how she gets her exercise. And it's like, no, I walk with purpose.
Yeah.
I have, a direction and I don't waste time. But along those lines, I can't tell you how many men walk in. And again, to have a brain is powerful, right? But you don't have to always open your mouth. And I think knowing more than the person in front of you and not having to tell them that helps me navigate a lot of the men. And I say that in this way. So men would run into the bank, and I purposely would hire older gentleman bankers or older service managers or older tellers, just dependent on, just so that I could have that go-to idol person standing next to me. And what happens is they say, I want to speak to the manager. And we start with a teller, then we go to a banker, then we go to the service manager. And when they want the main manager and I come out, it's a very aggressive tone about me being a woman. Right. So then they wanted to speak to my district manager, who's definitely the best woman district manager. Right. Like, so I can't imagine, because I know for a fact that you would probably be fired a lot because of how you look. And then you present yourself very confidently and you walk into a room and you get the attention. Right. And so it is tough.
It's
and
funny,
I will.
though, just real quick. She just, the compliment was, I can imagine you'd be fired a lot. And Jolie goes, well, thank you.
Thank you. I've seen the compliment in that comment. But you guys,
funny.
have you also noticed that some really beautiful people can just be so ugly by the way that they are inside and how they hold themselves and talk? And so it's like, I think that if you're even just semi good looking, but if you have a personality and like a humble heart,
it's even worse.
It's like, you just gotta it's what's on the inside. This is all gonna fade.
Yeah.
We know. This is all just gonna smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
But what's on the inside, like a beautiful person could be super ugly, no thank you, or like a 7 on a 1 to 10 could be so fabulous they could be like a 20 because their soul and heart is shining through, you know?
No small mountain village would be complete without its favorite local breakfast spot. And the Red Kettle restaurant in Idyllwild, California is just that place. As Idyllwild's premier downtown breakfast and lunch restaurant, the Red Kettle is exactly what you'd expect. Great food, friendly service, and quaint small town charm, the Red Kettle is the heart of Idyllwild's village life. And as an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, all festival badge wearers are treated to a 10% discount on every order. The Red Kettle restaurant, Idyllwild, California. Home-style cooking all year round.
Looking for great Mexican cuisine in Idyllwild, California? Look no further than La Casita, Idyllwild's #1 spot for authentic Mexican fare. Serving up both traditional and north-of-the-border specialties. La Casita is also famous for its great beer and wine selection, and the best margaritas to be found anywhere. La Casita, an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Film Festival, and simply the best Mexican food around.
Born out of creativity and desire, the Peak Restaurant and Bar at Tahquitz Pines is a must-see experience for anyone visiting the beautiful alpine village of Idyllwild, California. Featuring a mix of local and international cuisine, the Peak Restaurant and Bar is the centerpiece of the Tahquitz Resort. Set amid gorgeous mountain surroundings and miles of hiking trails, the Peak is unlike any other eatery around. And as an official sponsor of the Idyllwild International Festival of Cinema, the Peak is home of the event's famous Filmmakers Village every year. The Peak Restaurant at Tahquitz Pines Retreat. Come dine with us.
Right.
So it goes back to saying, like, anytime you get through a door because of how you look, right? The first 5 minutes, what you choose to start talking about, what you choose to interact with, and what you choose to actually like present of your confidence as well as your knowledge is really important, especially when I was in finance, right? So I'm not going to walk in and start talking about their decorations or something. And I'm speaking to business owners who I'm trying to get lending, right? And I think there's just a lot to it. So you have to kind of be humble as well, but not so humble that you're this innocent victim. So I don't know.
We get that in the flip world too, and my daughter and I flip houses. Oh boy, we get some bogus bids, and then they try to do the shortcuts and stuff because they don't really think that they're going to be dealing with two young. Right. Well, I look young, but I'm not. But they don't think that they're going to be dealing with us types. Like, who's the boss here? Well, we're the boss, right. And how much is this going to be? And what's the demo price? And what's the rough end? And all that. So you get it a lot. But once you find your people and you stick with your people, there's a underlying respect. I think you're good.
Yeah, and it can go on once you get to know somebody like Nicole. The more I got to know her, the more she was surprising me every day. And I think Jolie's going to be the same way. But, I found out she's a helicopter pilot and she's got her own hangar and a plane. And I walked in, I go, who is this woman? And it was like the first time I saw the movie Moneyball, I'd never looked at baseball that way. And so you guys are like Moneyball. I look at things different when I meet people like you who are, I don't know, you just have an outlook about business and about life in general that I really am attracted and drawn to people like you.
Isn't it interesting that you say that? Because I have to tell you, I have been single, divorced, and independent for 20 years, up until 3 years ago, right? So 20 years of independence. I bought my own house by myself. I raised my children. I had my own cars, bought my Teslas, whatever. And I can't tell you how many times every person, women or men, that you interact with, it was like, oh, that must be nice that your husband helped you. And I'm like, what husband? Why does everybody assume I can't do this by myself? Then when I married my husband, it got worse. They're like, oh, how long ago did you guys buy your house? I'm like, no, me. Oh, it must be nice that Mark bought you that car. No, me. And I'm not very, I don't need the acclimates from anybody else, but the perception, like you just said, right? Just watching someone from the outside, not knowing anything about them. The perception that this other human being who's a male form must have paid for everything to do with your life. You can't do it alone is a very hard one to shake for me. That's one of my main things to shake.
It's also intimidating since I'm in the single by choice world. It's actually quite intimidating for guys when you don't need them. I want a guy, but I don't need one. I have all my own houses, cars, everything. But I respect the man in the masculine form, and I want the man to be the alpha. I'm alpha because I have to be alpha. I mean, but do I love a handyman? I like a guy that's handy, that can fix the things. If not, I swear to God.
Oh my goodness.
Is that not hello?
No, I just hope my husband's not going to listen to this. So along those lines, right? My husband's a home builder.
Oh my God.
So he hires someone for everything. I'm a person that can fix my own dishwasher, my own garbage disposal. I can do all of those things, and I want it done now and not yesterday. So if my gardener's coming on Wednesday and there's a leak today, I'm going to fix it today.
Hello.
And he gets very hey, what is my purpose? And I'm like, I don't know, you're my partner. You could either pick up and do what you need, or you could, I don't know, do your own thing. And I agree. Independent women who have been very confident in who they are do not want a man who they need. They want a man who they want to be around and who wants to be around them. My husband definitely had to learn with me. I am probably the first independent woman he's dated.
Wow.
And definitely knocked to his ex-wife. But she was so dependent on him that it became hard for him to go, why don't you need me? Why don't you need me to do all these things for you? And it's like, I just don't. I want you for who you are, for your heart, for your giving heart, for your loving character, for your fun adventure. I don't need it. I could get it anywhere.
Yeah.
I want it from you, and I want us to come together as partners and we grow.
Yeah.
And so it's hard for men to understand that as independent women, we don't need our independence. Like I learned for the first time, I'm very happy having a partner, but not a partner who's so insecure. Like Mark's a very secure man, and Savage will tell you, like he lets me just run around the film festival.
I've had to thank him before. Thank you for loaning me your wife for days on end.
He's a good man.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. But most men that I dated before that were like very, you don't need me for anything, so what am I good for? And it's just like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah. The right ones will appreciate a strong woman and be the cheerleader. And the wrong ones will be, projecting. And they'll be like insecure and they'll project on you like childhood traumas and all the things. So, yeah, the trash takes itself out, I like to say.
Well, thanks for listening to this edition of the Men Are Dirt. No, you guys have been great.
You excluded
There's
Savage.
been no man bashing here. Just very informative, and I appreciate you both. So, well, this has been a real treat having both of you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
And now I want to allow you both the time to, let my listeners know about you and how to find out more about what you've got going on. Like Nicole, where would somebody go to find out more about your acting, your business side, your home building, all that?
Well, they would go to my social media to contact me because we don't give out that freely. But it's usually just Nicole Hughes, Nicole L. Hughes or Nicole Hughes. But you can Google any NHUGHES 1001 and you will find all of my connections.
Right.
And I do Instagrams most because I'm very tactile, which means I need to see or touch, so I can just move it.
Right.
I think like the contact would be Instagram or LinkedIn because don't forget my background. My background's professional, so finance, production, things like that. So LinkedIn's huge for me. But I think I keep it all in one place, and that's it.
And IMDb because she's become quite the hotshot producer and actor.
I think I've kept those two worlds very compartmentalized, my acting and my professional life, much because of you normally don't get clients because of your acting career in finance. Like, trust me, like if I'm doing, $3 million, $4 million building loans, they're not going to be like, let me see your IMDb.
Yeah.
So we have two very separate profiles that are now merging, which is one of my largest, this is my biggest hurdle so far, is how do you merge a bank president into a acting and producer? Like, how do you merge those two? And that's where I'm. So LinkedIn, apparently LinkedIn or Instagram merges.
Yeah. I think you're on the right track.
Ms. Jolie, how do we find out about you?
Oh, well, I would love to sell your house. Any size, any location. I probably social. Yeah, I do have a website, joliesellsthedesert.com or jolie4homes.com, but usually Instagram. I sell houses on Instagram. I sell it from hashtags, geotagging, all the things. So social, probably Instagram. I'm on the most.
And your videos are great.
Thank you. We like fly by the seat of our pants on some of those, and they turn out so good. I'm just like, shoot me from here. I'm gonna only say a couple lines. I sometimes don't even like to be in them, and he's like, no, your hits are way better when you're in them. So
this is your cameraman.
Yeah, Caesar. He's amazing, and so we're just rolling with it. We try to do something different each time. But I want to sell everyone's house. I love the marketing part of it and helping people envision the next chapter of their life, or also like getting out of bad parts of their lives, divorces. And we still remain in the desert, such a low price point considered 2 hours away, San Diego, Orange County, LA. We are a big bang for the buck still, even though we're up a little bit in pricing from what we're used to. But my probably my Instagram, but I would love to, I work with buyers too. I do everything. I don't cherry pick any price point, any city, Idyllwild or the Valley, Coachella Valley.
And
what's your Instagram handle?
Oh, sorry. Yes, thanks, girl. Looking out for me. Just Jolie Leydekkers. Yep, Jolie Leydekkers, Leydekkers.
Maybe we'll get Savage to put that link in the podcast.
We will do that for sure, and we will also I do this once in a while. I'm going to offer you an ad in the next film festival program, because a lot of people I can't tell you, 7, 8, 10, a dozen people have come to the festival and ended up buying homes here.
Oh,
yep.
Hello.
Yeah,
I would love it.
Yeah, so we'll make sure that happens.
Thank you.
Nicole and I are at the festival and all the time, and it'd be great.
You guys, that'd be great. It's hard here. Like, some of the realtors have not been very kind. You know, they used to call me, "You're an off-hill agent."
Right.
Well, not anymore. I'm not.
Nope.
I got my own place as of last July. But a lot of them are like, okay, cool. We're all just trying to accomplish a goal here. So, but there's only a few that are not so nice.
Also, I think what they overlook with you is you might be able to bring outside in and give the people you're bringing an understanding of what the expectation is here.
Right.
Totally.
Keep it ID.
Yeah. Keep it ID.
I think you're both amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I don't know, just thanks for sitting here and listening to my ramblings. And,
of course.
I this turned out so well. I really enjoyed this. So thanks both of you very much.
I did too.
That about wraps it up for this episode of the Stephen Savage Show. I'd like to thank my engineer, Maurice Sudo, who takes it from here and turns it into an actual podcast. And everyone at the Savage Podcasting Network. That team is amazing. And to all of you for downloading and listening in, which helps us keep our numbers way up there in the stratosphere on all platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, and where else? We're everywhere.
You're everywhere.
And Audible, Amazon Music, all of it, we're there. So thanks for you guys for keeping that going. So for Nicole Hughes Bradshaw and Jolie Leydekkers, as well as myself, have a great week ahead, and we will see you next time. Thanks again, ladies.
Thank you.